gotta admire that. Look like
We know Israel Adesanya got good kicks, but what about that Jiu Jitsu? Welcome to DROD'S MMA and Boxing, where you get the latest and the greatest without the extra stuff. Israel Adesanya got a purple belt from world-renowned BJJ black belt, world champion, ADCC multiple time champion, Andre Galvao. And this has been a talk of all the internet because, you know, Andre gave him his purple belt and he, you know, took a picture with the guys at Altos. So the question is, how legit is this purple belt? I'm going to go through some of these exchanges he had in his last fight with Marvin Vettori. And I'm going to just give you my honest assessment. Now, this may be the last video I do for the UFC. Mainly because the UFC is tripping. They take down all my videos. They don't give us a chance. They've gone through online and they're taking down everyone's highlights. You know, making it very difficult for people to, broadcast them, to be able to give them free advertisement. And, you know, a lot of these companies don't realize that it's not that we're stealing their material. By us creating highlights and advertising and educating the public on MMA, we're actually improving their brand. We're actually making it easier for new people to understand MMA a lot better. You know how many people tell me they don't understand MMA? You know, you can bring in a lot more people if they can understand it. So I don't understand why the UFC does this. And it's not just the UFC. I get PBC. You know, I can't make a PBC video without them taking my stuff down. But anyway, let's get to this. So first of all, that leg kick, man. Israel made an adjustment later on in the fight, and I wish I can cover it, but you know, I just told you why I can't. But he made adjustments to that leg kick. Vettori was expecting it. He knew it was coming because based on the first fight, he got tore up with leg kicks. So him sitting down, he was able to eat that leg kick a little bit better, and he caught the leg, and he went for a beautiful takedown. So I got to give him credit for that. Now, Israel Adesanya did a good job in getting inside hand position. So the key when you're on the ground for both the guy at the top and the guy in the bottom is to get inside hand control. And the reason why is because whoever controls the inside, they're able to dictate the damage. They're able to dictate the shots being landed. Whereas the guy in the bottom really don't want to throw punches. They're just trying to, you know, be defensive. But you know, Israel had good hands, especially he had his left hand on that bicep, which definitely he can control Vettori from landing down any strikes. And then he had his knee into the chest area of Vettori. So that also would give him the distance he needed. So if Vettori did want to sit up and throw a punch, he couldn't because Israel's knees would come together, pushing Vettori back and not allowing him to land a strike. So that's basic jiu-jitsu right there, but it's really good considering the fact there's so many people that don't understand that concept. You know, then I like the fact that in this fight he shoulder walked, so he didn't just accept the position. You know, in his previous fight he wasn't very aware of the position, and he allowed Vettori to put him into, like in a half guard position. So you have two guards, two basic guards. You have the full guard and the half guard. Full guard is both legs wrapped around the person's waist. And then the half guard is basically you got, one leg on the outside and one leg on the inside. You're basically trapped. You know, the guy up top has more of a control in half guard. And full guard, the guy in the bottom has better control. So in the first fight, he wasn't very aware of the situation, and if Vettori was a little bit more skilled in grappling and jiu-jitsu, he probably could have finished him. But in this fight, he was more aware of that, and he wouldn't give up the position. That tells me that his mind has just switched over. He's a little bit more advanced now. Like he has more of a situational awareness. So he tried to walk himself back to the cage. And when he tried to, Vettori tried to step over. So that step over mean that Vettori was trying to get into a more advantageous position. And he was smarter this time. He didn't concede. He didn't give him the position. So he knew, wait a minute, let me stop this cage walk and let me try to keep my guard. So his mind is more maintaining his guard. So that's very, very important for the time to come. In the previous fight, he stayed in the position. He really was using too much energy, exerting too much energy to try to get up. And like I said, if Vettori had better skills, he probably could have finished that fight. Now what I like is, this tells me that his mind is definitely going into that purple belt, because a blue belt have a wealth of knowledge, they have understand the techniques, but they don't have the execution. Whereas a purple belt, you're going to see them start to string things together, attacks, being able to move from one position to another position, or one submission to another submission. And so what he did was, he realized, I can't do this cage walk thing. But he didn't give up. He didn't quit. In the previous fight, he just laid there. This fight, he didn't give up. And I really do like the fact, I do like the fact that he doesn't quit, and he always tries things. He has pretty good jiu-jitsu. I noticed that in the Gastelum fight. His jiu-jitsu is not that bad. So what he tried to do was, he used the cage as a way to go for, and it looked like an armbar, but I think he was just trying to stand up. But Vettori had to respect it. Reason why he had to respect it, because if Vettori did not respect it, it could have easily turned into an armbar. So Vettori had to let go. And just like in the Khabib and Rafael dos Anjos fight, a good way of stifling the guy up top, or getting up to your feet, or stopping his ground and pound, is a submission threat. They have to respect the submission. If they don't respect it, then you can lose a limb or get put to sleep. So Israel Adesanya did not give up. He went for the position, and then he got up, and then he ended up turning. Beautiful, beautiful technique, to be honest with you. Now Marvin had a beautiful takedown. That takedown he gave through, it's kind of like, it's tough, because you have that person that putting their head into your sternum, into your chest, and I don't think Israel was waiting for it. If it was if it was more of a lower shot on the hips, then he could have sprawled, could have probably thrown a knee. But this was a safer way of landing a takedown. It was more up. I thought at first he hit him with the head, which is a very difficult takedown to defend, because even if you try to block it, sprawl, or get your underhooks, that head to the sternum is a very interesting attack. It feels like you're actually getting punched in the sternum. You think about somebody like remember the Three Stooges, Curly? Someone hits you in the head, in that chest, it kind of takes the wind out of you. Now, what is interesting about this sweep that he tried was, it's a legit sweep. However, he had to block the arm, and in this case he didn't. In order to hit this sweep, you have to control both the leg and the arm on the same side of the body to get the sweep to occur. In this situation, he didn't. Vettori's elbow was out, so when he actually tried to go for the sweep, Vettori ended up getting taking the back from here. Now, this is very interesting, because number one, when with those MMA gloves, it's really hard to lock in a choke. If it was just like bare knuckle, then it would be a lot easier, because you just slip that hand in. But the MMA gloves have some sort of restriction there, which favors wrestlers a lot. And so all he had to do was pry those hands apart, and Vettori crossed his legs. And by him crossing the leg, he didn't have any more control of the lower body. So once Israel Adesanya ripped those hands apart, he was able to easily turn. And you could see he had the skills in that area, because he was already moving his hips into that direction. So he was already looking for an escape. Beautiful. Again, he tried to land a strike, but he didn't have any inside control, and so he couldn't land a good strike. Now, wanted to see him get control of that half guard from the top position, but he had way too much space, and Vettori was able to get his legs involved. Now this is interesting because he halfway did it right. He controlled Vettori's top leg, but he never cleared the knee line. And in order to defend a leg lock, you have to clear the knee line. He wasn't able to clear the knee line. Vettori just didn't understand how to, keep control of the leg. So anyway, he did eventually try to go for a turn. The escape he wanted was to clear the knee line, step the leg over Vettori's hips, and crush his knee to the ground, get head control and pass. But anyway, he did get out, and Vettori did lose the knee line eventually. So there's that. You can see he learned a lot. See, in the first fight, he was trying to use that cage a lot, but he just wasn't able to use the cage. He didn't have the understanding of the leverage needed, the timing needed, and that comes with time. In this fight, he landed perfectly. He knew exactly what he was trying to do. It's kind of sort of like the technique, the sweep he tried at first, but he wasn't able to hit it. This one, if you see here, he actually had control of Vettori's left arm, which allowed that technique to happen. So, he hit it the second time. Couldn't hit it the first time, but he hit it the second time. So it tells me that he does have the knowledge. He's not afraid of trying new things in there. He does have the knowledge of techniques. It's just over time with drilling, training, and just cage experience is he's gonna get better and better every time. So that's my assessment of it. I think that he has pretty good jiu-jitsu. I like the fact that he doesn't quit. He doesn't give up the position. He does try new things. And that Kevin Gastelum fight, he really opened my eyes that he can throw submission off his back if you give him a chance. So with time, he's definitely going to be a sick savage in there when it comes to jiu-jitsu. So please hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and tell me what you think about Israel Adesanya's jiu-jitsu. And do you know of another striker turned MMA fighter who has just as good as jiu-jitsu as Israel Adesanya? Please let me know. I'll be happy to break them down. Probably not a UFC fighter. So other than that, I thank you for watching. Y'all have a great day. Peace. Subscribe.